Hi guys, today I will be talking about how to think like a challenger outside of the game. So, to start off, I'll be showing you the 5 different points I'll be making throughout the video. These are the 5 points: mentality, to not be ignorant and blame others, instead focusing on yourself and how to improve. Um, Also, how to improve, I'll be going through the good methods, and I'll also be talking about multi-search, Blitz, and to actually think during the game. Now, these may sound stupid, I don't know. You'll have to watch the video or read the Reddit thread. So, mentality. Mentality, in my opinion, is often neglected when playing League, but it is in my opinion, the most important part. If you have the mentality that, man, I'm stuck in elo hell, man, my teammates suck, all the negative ones, like, you focus on your teammates more than yourself, you are not going to have a great time in League. If you instead try to focus on yourself and reflect on yourself, on your place, and what you could have done better, you will definitely climb. One of my friends in real life, um, he most of the times he speaks to me. He talks about how the game was uncarryable. Oh man, he plays so well, but he still lost. By the way, he's a silver 4 player, and he has bronze 2 MMR. Sorry for putting it out. Um, he always talks about the uncarryable games. Um, sure, from his point of view, the games are really hard because he doesn't know how to translate a lead. He doesn't know what to do with a lead. He doesn't know if he should continue pushing. You know what I'm trying to say. But if he instead focused on himself, he would then learn how to focus on his lead, get ahead, get even more ahead, try to get his teammates ahead. And in that way, he could snowball the entire game. That is what Challenger players does, so why can't you? You just have to learn. So, this part is about thinking of yourself, how to improve yourself. Forget about your teammates, ignore them. The game is about you until you become a pro player, which I assume none of you are, because you're on summoner school, or just my friends in real life, and none of you are pro, I'm sorry. So, the next part I'll be talking about is how to improve. So, if you want to improve fast, and you should definitely either watch your replays, use a notepad, and typing every time you die in game, or other things you think you should focus on. Just simply typing them on every time you die, every time you lose a game. Just writing things down to think about after a loss, or even a win. If you think there's things you could have done better, definitely write them down because it'll help you in the long run. You will think about what happened, why did I die? Did I die for a good cause? Did I get my team banned? But even at that point, if you got your team banned, could you have survived? Could you have baited 4 people um, down to you without dying? Like, always focus on how to improve. Just don't. If you say no, I played that perfectly. Sure, there are times you probably play. There are certain times you played perfectly, but that's not close. Like, even Faker, even Dopa, like, the greatest players in league, they misplay 1,000 times every game. Even though it could be just a movement misstep, that's still a misplay, like, to a certain extent. Just always try to focus on yourself and how to improve. So, there's also this app called Overwolf. I assume you know about it. It has different apps within that program, and those you can use to your advantage. So, Game Summary is basically an app on Overwolf that after every game, it gives you a summary of how many actions you did per minute, all of your deaths, all of your kills, all of your assists. So instead of watching your replay, you could use Game Summary to watch all your deaths, to watch all of your kills. It just summarizes the game. So you just watch that. It takes, after a game, like 5 minutes to watch through all of your kills and deaths. You know what I'm trying to say? Just watching through those and realizing your mistakes will help you improve a lot. Um, and then there's also coaching. There's a lot of free coaching on YouTube, for example. I will also be doing more videos on coaching. I'll try to coach my friends. So I'm not saying I'm the greatest coach, but if you want free coaching, I'm always down. When I stream, I'm going to try to coach people. I'll just do my best to help people improve. But yeah, those are the 4 things, in my opinion, that will help you improve the fastest. Okay, so the next topic I'll be talking about is multi-search. most people forget about this part, that the game starts in Champion Select. The game doesn't start when the timer starts ticking in game. The game starts in Champion Select when people are selecting champs, the enemy team comp. You know, it's really important if you want to climb the highest ranks. If you keep thinking that the game just starts when the timer hits 0 and you're all like trying to invade or things, you should reconsider, because the game starts in Champion Select and is super important. So, for getting more wins, getting to higher rank, I'd super highly advise you to use op.gg's multi-search function. Basically, if you go to op.gg and every time you get into a game, you know how it says has joined the lobby, this guy has joined the lobby, like all of your teammates has joined the lobby. If you copy all those and then just simply posting it into op.gg, you will find all of your teammates in the game. It will say their win rates, it will say their best champs, it will say their win/losing streak if they have one. Basically, it will give you a ton of good information that will help you win. If you see like you have 3 guys in your team that has a 9 loss streak, you should definitely consider dodging. If I had those on my team, I'd dodge. Like, that's also something people forget about, is dodging. Dodging, you get pretty much 1 free dodge every day. A dodge is 3 LP, your first dodge of the day, and after that it's 10. Dodging doesn't lose you MMR, which pretty much is the most important part in League. So, you know, comparing to like dodging or playing a game that where you have 3 players with a 9 loss streak, having 3 players with 9 loss streak pretty much doesn't give you a higher chance of winning the game. Dodging, however, loses you 3 LP and gives you a great chance of winning the next game, because you probably won't get those teammates again. What to also think about when you're in Champion Select is team composition. Think about, are you full AD? Are you full AP? Is the enemy full AP? Is the enemy full AD? Do I want to counter my matchup? Counters are not that important the lower elo, but they're really important the higher you get. So, in my opinion, a more balanced team, the better. Blitz is also a great add-on for learning matchups. Blitz is a program. It's similar to Overwolf, but it's its own. And basically, every time you get in Champion Select, it will, just as op.gg's multi-search will, tell you about your laners, your everything. It will tell everything about your teammates. But what it also does is it gives you runes. It gives you a build in game. It gives you, for example, let's say you're playing Olaf jungle and you're playing versus a Evelyn, for example. Olaf is extremely strong early on, while Evelyn is pretty weak early on. So the Blitz will tell you to, for example, perhaps counter jungle her. It will also tell you that you're stronger than her. It will basically just give you matchup tips, and I think that's extremely important. If you don't know your champion, if you're new to the game, you don't know a lot, you need to, if you instead use Blitz, it will give you great tips for learning extremely quickly, because it will simply just tell you what to think about, and that's extremely good. If I had that when I started playing, I'd be twice as good now, pretty much. So my final tips for all of you guys is to actually think during the game. This may sound very strange, but just hear me out, okay? So, most of you guys, you probably want to climb. Like, who wouldn't want to climb? Who wouldn't want to get better? But you're probably not, like, you're not putting in effort. If you are, you're probably climbing, okay? But I assume most of you guys, you want to climb, but you're like the chill player. You want to lean back in your chair. You want to listen to music. You want to just play the game and relax. Sure, there's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of people that do that, the casuals, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But you need to realize that if you're doing that, you'll have a hard time climbing. Because if you're just playing like you were yesterday, the day before, like if you just keep on spamming games without thinking you're doing your games, without looking at tutorials or anything, you will not climb. Perhaps you'll climb a tier or a 2, a division, You'll not climb high though, because if you just spam games, the only thing you are improving if you're just playing similar to what you did the day before and after is your mechanics. Because to, for example, to develop macro, you need to think. Macro is pretty much thinking about what you do. Think about your next step. Think about your next steps. Think about how I could develop the lead, how I can win my lane. You know what I'm trying to say. So if you're just spamming games without thinking, you're not going to have a great time climbing. And my tip for this, to actually think during game, because most people, to be honest, they don't think. I just yesterday I met two guys that they literally told me in Champions Select, I will be muting everyone. I'm listening to music, and they pretty much ignored everyone's calls the entire game, and they just did their own thing. There's nothing wrong with doing that, but if you want to climb, it's not the greatest thing to do. So my tip for you guys is to, if you have a second monitor, you just put up a screen there, perhaps a notepad, and you just type of things to think about during the game. Either you could type think, you could type ward, you could type to look at the map. You could also, I know what people used to do back in the day where they would just Google 5-second interval sound, and every 5 seconds it would do a beep sound. That beep sound would remind you to do a certain thing. Most players used it to look at the map, so they developed the muscle memory to look at the map every 5 seconds. And that's great. That's a really good method of developing muscle memory. My advice is for you to do this, but for the thinking sound, for the thinking effect. So, as I said, you develop the muscle memory to think during the game. If you think every 5 seconds of how do I kill my laner, how do I develop a lead, how do we grab dragon, should we pick someone right now or should we team fight? If you just think, you will improve. You'll skyrocket in ranks if you're not already really high. But it's just a really good tip in my opinion. It's my favorite tip. So definitely focus on this one. And now I just wanted to say thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed and learned something. And consider subscribing and liking. And I will be posting more content soon. Have a good one.